This entire episode is a discussion of abusive relationships and specifically domestic violence. I give a lot of warnings at the start of episodes. This one is a pretty intense song leading to some intense discussions, and the music video itself is also intense. Listen at your own discretion. It is Saturday, the 1st of March, 2025. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. It's the start of another month here on Pigeon Song of the Day, which is not that momentous of an occasion, although we are approaching the end. However, as you're hearing this, I am in Scotland because me and my boyfriends and our friend are going to Scotland for a few days, and so I am pre-recording and editing and uploading all the episodes for those days so that I don't have to worry about them while I'm in Scotland, because I'm not bringing my laptop and I don't want to be editing shit while I'm there. So, congratulations when you're hearing this. This is coming out the day we fly to Scotland, so that's fun. Anyway, this will not affect the listening experience. I'm just letting you know that this is recorded way in advance for that very reason. Today, we're talking about the wonderful Irish artist Andrew Hozier-Byrne, also known as Hozier. Now, I don't know if it's actually pronounced Hozier. That's how most people pronounce it. It's spelt like Hozier, and that's probably more accurate, but I'm just so used to saying Hozier at this point. I don't know that I've heard him say his own name. I probably have. Anyway, he's an Irish artist from Bray in County Wicklow, and he kind of just blew up really quickly out of nowhere because his big debut single was Take Me to Church, and that became a big hit internationally, and that just kind of took everyone by storm, you know? And I always liked that song, but I really liked the EP that it was released on, because this is before his first album, which ended up having all the songs on that EP, but I remember specifically really liking the other songs, which were Like Real People Do, Angel of Small Death in the Codeine Scene, and Cherry Wine Live, which is what we're talking about today, is Cherry Wine. Now, I do like other Hozier songs, and I do intend to talk about other Hozier songs, but Cherry Wine, probably my favorite of his, along with Nothing Fucks With My Baby, I really like. It's a great song. So today we're talking about Cherry Wine, like I said. Now, Cherry Wine is an interesting song with heartbreaking lyrics and a really interesting story about how it was recorded and a great music video. I'll already have put a warning at the start of this episode, but I will say again here, this song is about physical and emotional abuse, domestic violence specifically, and the music video shows that as well. And so I think that it's a very important message, and it's a great song, and it's a very well made music video. But if you were uncomfortable with those themes, I would strongly discourage you to watch the music video, and even then maybe not listen to the song. It's really up to you. I just want to put that out there because this song is it's a hell of a thing. The music video doesn't specifically show abuse, it shows the results of abuse, so bruises and stuff, but just I'm letting you know. Anyway, let's go ahead and listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And that was Cherry Wine by Hozier. Good lord. Man, this song is so fucking heartbreaking. And that's an obvious thing to say, but also, it's not just a song about domestic violence. The lyrics are specifically about a woman abusing a man, which is something not nearly talked about enough. There's this whole stereotype that men are abusive and women are victims, right? And that is often true, obviously, but that is not always true, and there are so many cases where a woman abuses a man, or indeed queer couples abuse each other, and it gets ignored because no one cares or no one believes it. And I think it's very interesting that I don't know if this is specifically based on a relationship of his. I don't know if he said something about that. I know that he's talked about how he wanted to make a statement about domestic violence with the song, but I don't know if he drew from his own personal experiences, and if he did, it would make sense, because it's an interesting choice of him to write about a man being abused by a woman if he wasn't himself abused by a woman. Does that make sense? I'm glad he made that choice rather than just writing from the perspective of a woman, which would still be interesting and a good message, and I would believe that he would do a good job. And the music video is about that. The music video is about a woman being abused by a man, played by Saoirse Ronan. Love to see it. She does some great face acting in that music video. Does it say who the man is? Mo Dunford. He's not in stuff that I know, but he is a known actor. He's in Vikings, seems like his most prominent thing. Oh, he was in Handsome Devil. Never mind, I have seen him in something. Game of Thrones. Is that one of the episodes I watched? Second season. Okay, I have seen that episode. Anyway, it's a hard thing to talk about because I tend to say that I wasn't physically abused, but there have been times in specific relationships where physical hurt has been caused, and it's always hard to kind of admit to yourself that, like, well, no, that's what physical abuse is. It just wasn't regular, you know? But anyway, this song, I always liked it, but in more recent times it has resonated with me more. Let's put it that way. I wonder if I can find, hold on, I have a poem that I wrote, or a song that I wrote rather, that was inspired by cherry wine. Don't know if I'd be able to find it. Let's see. Okay, I found it. I have a song that I wrote inspired by this song. It's called Defiant. I'm not particularly proud of the verses. It was like, when did our love stop being an act of defiance and instead just become an act? When did you stop caring about me? When did love become so abstract? It's fine. But the refrain was similar to cherry wine. It's the way you looked straight into my eyes, told me you'd love me till the day that you died. Was it ever true or was it always a lie? Sung to the tune of cherry wine, you know. The one that I always remember was, you forced me to lay with you every night. I didn't realize that wasn't your right. Your hands on my hips lied and told me it was all right. Yeah, so that's fun. Anyway, let's talk about the song itself. Cherry wine. Let's go into the lyrics. Her eyes and words are so icy, oh, but she burns like rum on a fire. Hot and fast and angry as she can be, I walk my days on a wire. It looks ugly, but it's clean. Oh, mama, don't fuss over me. The way she tells me I'm hers and she is mine, open hand or closed fist would be fine. The blood is rare and sweet as cherry wine. So, her eyes and words are so icy, obviously coldness, in the way that she speaks and the way she looks at him. Oh, but she burns like rum on a fire. Alcohol burns very well, of course, so saying that she's very cold but she burns, you could think of that as passion, but also of course as anger, passion in that sense as well. Hot and fast and angry as she can be, I walk my days on a wire. So immediately he sets you up for this idea of walking on eggshells. You know, I walk my days on a wire, I tread carefully around her. It looks ugly but it's clean, oh mama don't fuss over me. That I assume is talking about a bruise. And in the music video you see it's cuts between the couple having a nice time while drunk and drinking wine, and Saoirse Ronan's character taking off her makeup to reveal a nasty black eye. And that's kind of it looks ugly but it's clean is what that calls to mind, you know. The way she tells me I'm hers and she's mine, open hand or closed fist would be fine. The way she tells me I'm hers and she's mine is so subtly controlling, you know, because that can be a really sweet sentiment. I'm yours, you're mine, but in the context, it feels like, you know, you're mine and no one else's, right? It feels very controlling. Open hand or closed fist would be fine. And so this is the kind of thing about the song, is that it's from the perspective of the victim who is accepting the negativity of it because they love the happy times, which is a trap that people fall into. And God knows I have. And so he's okay with a slap or a closed fist, a punch, because the blood is rare and sweet as cherry wine, because it doesn't draw blood much, so he's okay with putting up with it, you know. Calls of guilty thrown at me all while she stains the sheets of some other, thrown at me so powerfully just like she throws with the arm of her brother, but I want it, it's a crime, that she's not around most of the time. The way she shows me I'm hers and she's mine, open hand or closed fist would be fine, the blood is rare and sweet as cherry wine. So, calls of guilty thrown at me all while she stains the sheets of some other implies that she's saying that she's accusing him of cheating while she's cheating herself, which is an interesting element to introduce to it. Thrown at me so powerfully just like she throws with the arm of her brother. I mean, she has this venomous anger, but when he says with the arm of her brother, he's talking about throwing punches with the strength of a man, which seems a bit counterintuitive to his message, but also some people have suggested that's implying that she herself was abused by her brother, and that's where this abusive streak in her comes from, which makes sense to me. That can happen. I don't know if that's what's implied there, but it's a way to read it, certainly. But I want it. It's a crime that she's not around most of the time. Again, justifying it to himself because he's in love, right? It's so sad. And then the chorus is mostly the same, except instead of it's the way she tells me, it's the way she shows me. And again, that makes it more sinister because it could be a sweet message if it wasn't wrapped up in this violent imagery, right? And then the final verse, her fight and fury's fiery, oh, but she loves like sleep to the freezing. Sweet and right and merciful, I'm all but washed in the tide of her breathing. And it's worth it, it's divine, I have this some of the time. The way she shows me I'm hers and she is mine, open hand or closed fist would be fine. The blood is rare and sweet as cherry wine. So, her fight and fury's fiery is hard to say. Oh, but she loves like sleep to the freezing. This lyric is incredible. This is like, it says so much in so few words. Her fight and fury is fiery. Obviously, he talked about how hot and angry she is. Oh, but she loves like sleep to the freezing. So if you're freezing, the last thing you want to do is fall asleep because you're not likely to wake up again. But also if you're freezing, you really just want to go to sleep. And so it's talking about this. Her love is sleep to the freezing. Her love is this dangerous thing, but it's so tempting. He wants it even though it's going to kill him. And I love that comparison. It says so much, and it's so subtly heartbreaking, and I love it. Sweet and right and merciful. Good Lord. I'm all but washed in the tide of her breathing, and it's worth it. It's divine. I have this some of the time. So just throughout the song, justifying to himself, there's good times, and that makes the bad times worth it. And it's a sad situation that so many people find themselves in. And this song, I think a lot of people in the comments have said that this song has helped them escape situations or understand situations, you know. And certainly I relate to that as well. I realized I was going to say it before the song, but I'm finished the lyrics now, so I'll say it now. Oh, hey, the music video was directed by Dervla Walsh. That I said there was an interesting story about how it was recorded. So, as you'll note, in most versions of it, it says Cherry Wine parentheses live. Well, there's no studio version because I'll just read what it says on Wikipedia. Hozier initially was shooting his first press photos at an abandoned hotel in Ireland that had caught fire. The building had a caved-in roof and walls covered in graffiti. Cherry Wine was recorded on the roof of the location at 5 a.m. So he was just like, he was filming. He went up to the roof in the like dead morning just before sunrise basically and did this song because the acoustics were interesting, and then didn't record it because that recording is perfect. It's beautiful. It really, really works because it's like just him and guitar. I think I don't think there's any other instruments on it. Yeah, and it's great. And what a great song to end his first album too as well. So that's gonna be it, I think. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
When I first saw you, the end was near. We're not doing that today.